Hello and welcome to the first video where I show you how I edit my photos. I use Photoshop Lightroom, Photoshop CC, and Nik software collection, Viveza, Efex Pro, Define, and Silver Effects. So the first thing I do in Lightroom is apply my standard template. It basically applies standard contrast, clarity, saturation, vibrance, a few highlight tweaks, and some color correction stuff that are particular to my camera. I'll put a link to it so that you can download the template and try it on your camera. And here I'm applying a 3:2 crop because I find that the micro four thirds ratio is just a little too square. After this, I'll send it to Photoshop and do more processing there. At this point, this is where I start using the Nik software. The first thing I fire up is Viveza, and that's just to allow me to burn and dodge like what we used to do in the dark room, where you can see me applying points to the parts that I want brighter, and in some parts that I prefer Right now I'm just applying points to where I think things should be lighter. I'm not actually making that much changes yet. I'll do that in the next step. But as you can see, I want some of the buildings brighter, the rooftops brighter, and now I'm starting to adjust brightness on those buildings. And sometimes it helps to strobe the before and after so you can see where you applied the changes. And I wanted to change the brightness of the neon signs at the top of the buildings. Don't really know if they're neon, I'll just call them that. And here I'm going to darken the neon signs so they aren't so bright in the image. Now that I'm happy with the brightness changes, I'm going to send it back to Photoshop. There's going to be a delay where it does its processing, and then after that I send it to Efex Pro 4. Okay, now that I'm in Efex Pro 4, the first filter I applied was Detail Extractor. What this does is I don't want to say it makes the picture HDR, but what it does is it does brighten up the shadows, brings down the highlights, and increases the what they call structure so that you see more of the detail. After that, I apply Pro Contrast, which just gives the image more punch. And again, I do a little tweaking here and there. Even though the slider stays 0, somehow the Pro Contrast still makes a big difference. But here you see me tweaking it, and once I'm happy, send it back to Photoshop, and that's it for the Nik software side for now. Sorry, something happened to the screen capper on here, but basically I found the image still a little too yellow after I brought it back from Efex Pro. So what I would normally do, or what I've normally done, is I would copy copy the layer that I had in Efex Pro, or the output from Efex Pro 4, and apply and run it through Efex Pro. It's the Nix Software's black and white tool. There's no real settings I tweak. I just go with what has the most detail for that setting, and I put it as the top layer. Then I adjust the opacity until I find the balance where I like it. As you can see, one was too yellow, and now it's muted, and I find suits this picture better. After all of that is done, this PSD file is huge, somewhere close to a gigabyte. So I will merge everything down. I'm still experimenting which I prefer, normal, darkened, screen, but usually I just ended up with normal, and that's what I did here. I ended up with normal. At this point, I'm going to merge everything down or flatten the image and send the whole shebang back into Lightroom. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm using Lightroom 4, but I find that when I bring the image back from Photoshop, I need to tweak it again just a little bit. It's never the same tweaks. This time I had to adjust exposure a little bit, and the highlights. I just wasn't happy with the highlights in the street part, the car lights, the car trails. And after that, I will send it back into a Nix software plugin. In this case, it's Define. I'm sending it to Define, which is the noise reduction plugin. It's pretty simple. Once the plugin opens up, it will find those little squares. It finds places that are noisy and creates an algorithm based on that. Sometimes if I want specific parts cleaned up, I will highlight a specific part and add that to the automatic stuff, but I'm pretty happy with the way it is here. So I just hit finish, send it back to Lightroom, and that's it. That's the end of the process. Export it, upload it to Facebook, Flickr, 500px, what have you, and that's it. So thank you for watching my first tutorial video. I hope you could make some sense of what I was saying, but if not, let me know and I'll try to tweak what I'm going to say the next time. For now, this is Ricky, and this is my long exposure over Vancouver picture. There you go. There's the picture. Bye.